We begin tonight with the Ford government's budget announcement, and it's a big one. The Tories plan to spend $214 billion, the largest budget ever. And it looks like Ontario will move deeper into the red. The deficit is projected to be $9.8 billion for the coming fiscal year. That's almost double what the province projected in the fall economic update, with Ontario's finance minister now saying a surplus will not happen until 2026-27. Peter Bethlenfalvy saying he made a choice to increase the deficit rather than cutting spending or raising taxes or fees for Ontarians.
It has been a challenging year. Life has rarely been this expensive. The Bank of Canada has for months now repeatedly raised interest rates at a big pace. Global economies have slowed, the cost of everything is higher, and so we've had two choices. Put the brakes on or keep going. Mr. Speaker, we choose to keep going to rebuild Ontario's economy because it is the right thing to do.
So here's a look at how the government is spending some of the money. The budget includes $190 billion over the next 10 years to build critical infrastructure, which includes expanding highways, transit, homes, and high-speed internet. $1 billion is set aside for a new municipal housing infrastructure program to support core projects to build new housing in developing communities. As for new money, there's an additional $2 billion over 3 years for home and community care, where healthcare services are provided at home or in a community setting by nurses, personal support workers, and others. And a note on policing, the budget says the Ford government will support the purchase of 4 new police helicopters to help increase Greater Toronto Area patrols and response times. The $46 million investment will be over 3 years. The budget also includes $49 million over 3 years to fight auto theft. Al Sweeney has been covering all this for us today at Queen's Park. He joins us live. Al, what can you tell us and what really stands out in this budget?
Well, in all honesty, Matt, there's nothing in this budget that really stands out. No tax increases, no spending cuts. There are measures aimed at making a difference for specific issues or specific groups of people, but most of them we heard before. And the government is focused right now, like many people, on getting through these tough economic times. The finance minister describes his budget as a plan for the future in the middle of global economic difficulties, coping like everybody else with inflation and high interest rates.
We're not backing down from investing in what matters most, and we are not going to increase costs on our people.
He says growth is slowing down, and the budget prediction of a $9.8 billion deficit comes in the middle of economic uncertainty.
We're not, as I said, immune from global forces. So. In the economic environment, so our revenues are down, and you know, the costs of many things are up, including for governments. But you know, what I will say is you have a couple of choices. You can either put on the brakes, or you can keep going forward, supporting the infrastructure spend, supporting the economy, supporting workers, and that's the way we've chosen.
While they're not cutting spending, any increases are modest, like an increase in healthcare spending of 1.3%, below the rate of inflation. And one of the ways the government has chosen to help individuals with high costs is a change in auto insurance. They want people to be able to opt out of some auto insurance coverage if they have the same coverage elsewhere, like workplace insurance.
By that I mean that they'll have the opportunity to select the coverage that they need, and for new insurance coverage plans to be able to choose more options that fit their needs.
The opposition says that's a bad idea.
That this is going to force Ontarians who are looking for more affordable options, frankly, to take on additional risk that they shouldn't be forced to take on. And that, at the end of the day, is it's going to be Ontarians that suffer.
They also say the budget does not do what the province needs at a time like this.
Nothing that the government laid out today helps hardworking people breathe a sigh of relief or gives them confidence that what's causing them stress matters to their government.
This is a do-nothing budget. It's not even worth the paper it's written on. Families and businesses in Ontario are hurting, and Doug Ford is choosing to do nothing for you.
Budget no leaves far too many people behind. People are struggling. They deserve better. They deserve a budget that says yes to solving the challenges the people of this province face.
And while the government is facing a ballooning deficit, its figures show the economy could get even worse, possibly staying just ahead of a recession with economic growth of only 0.3%. And if you're hearing a lot of noise in the background, there seems to be a post-budget party going on here. Matt?